What is Birdhouse to you?
House is home.
What is Birdhouse to you?
Home.
House is home. For anyone joining Birdhouse, this is one of the first things you learn about the team, and it rings in your ears for the next 4 seasons of Ultimate at Marquette University. This year, for the 2022 to 2023 season, the team wanted to bring its fans, friends, and family closer to the program. By way of extensive game footage, tradition, and inside the team videos, welcome to Inside the Birdhouse.
When did you kind of know last year's team was going to be special?
I think that it was like majority team effort. And I vividly remember Brian just continued to saying like, "Hey, I'm not trying to go home now. Like, I want to stick around here. I'm not trying to go home." I remember him saying that over and over, and like we just kept winning. We kept winning, and beat, I think it was like 3 or 4 teams the second day, and unfortunately we lost out to the UW team. But it was a close game even then, and it was just a really crazy run for us, and I don't think that we couldn't do it again this year. Like, we could very well do the same thing.
When we were in Madison, we played Milwaukee like really early, and we came out and won that game. And the second it was like Iowa State, was it?
Just a regular Iowa.
Iowa, yeah. Well,
dogged them too.
Yeah, that game set the pace for like everything, and like I don't think many people saw us win that game, and we came out and just dogged them, and it was super great to see.
We definitely had the chem that other teams don't. I feel like we had that bond, and I feel like that really helped us, especially in those dogfight games.
I don't think there was ever a doubt in my mind that we could do something really cool with our season. Leadership was really crucial in that they ran our practices really well, and we were really organized, and just playing with that team, it just kept getting better and better and better, and I didn't think that there was ever any way we were going to slow down.
You know, last year was a very different year. I mean, coming off, you know, we had a stretch with COVID, split into 2 teams. I don't think we were prepared or ready to be playing at that high of a level against some of the teams who had, like, you know, grad students back who were probably like 25 years old, playing against freshmen who were a huge part of our team and, you know, are just learning the game. It was really important for me to keep the pedal to the metal and just go all out throughout all of regionals, because I know it means a lot for the seniors, and everyone knew that. All the younger guys knew that too, and they were working their butts off for those guys. And well, we had an early start on day 2, and you know, we just came out hot and exactly how I wanted us to play. First round of bracket play of course, UW, Milwaukee, and it's always a good one. Cruising to the next game against Iowa, a team we lost to early in the year. That game was nuts because, you know, there's a lot of huge plays on defense, and, you know, off the bat, I think we started with like 3 or 4 breaks, and we had Wisconsin up next. The winner of this game went to play for a shot at Natties, and we didn't start off as good as we usually do. As good as we did that tournament in those previous games, but we fought all the way through, and like a lot of people were making big plays, and we were fighting hard, but it just ended up that bad start kind of cost us the game, and, you know, horn went off and we were down 1, and, you know, it wasn't a win, but it was a win for the program.
With a large number of returning players, Birdhouse will begin looking towards next season. This year, 244 signatures and emails would be gathered from freshmen all the way to seniors interested in the program. following O-Fest, the 2022 to 2023 season would be underway. What made you join Birdhouse? Or how did you hear about the team? Did we sign?
We did sign.
We did sign?
We did sign.
Okay, are we signing for the girls team?
Yeah, we signed.
You signed?
Yeah.
All right. Here we are with Steve in the street. Sir, for $1.
You guys are here for Ultimate. You guys are here for Ultimate. Fuck yeah.
It's a funny story, actually. So I went to the table at O-Fest, but I didn't want to join then. I did put my name down on the sheet of paper, but I didn't want to join then. But new guy, Sean Habash, is on my floor in my dorm, and every Thursday night he would come back, and I'd be like, "Why are you coming back so late? It's Thursday." And he'd be like, "It's die night." I'm like, "What's that?" And so like he explained it to me, like, this sounds so cool. And then he's like, "Oh, it's actually Ultimate Frisbee too." I'm like, "Well, that's even better." So I had never done Ultimate Frisbee before, but I went to one practice and then I was just hooked, you know?
So basically I was walking around and there was a mysterious man with a mustache who I later learned his name was Sean. Not the same Sean in the past story, different Sean. And he pointed at me and said, "You, come sign up for Frisbee," and bullied me into doing it. So that was fun.
So when I toured Marquette, one of the first questions I had for the tour guide is if there was Ultimate Frisbee at Marquette. And they said, "Yeah, I think there's a house, actually." And little did I know house would be home. No.
That's a lie.
Yeah.
Say that one again.
Yeah, can we get it again? So I was walking around O-Fest, and the one thing that I was looking for was the Ultimate Frisbee table. And I walked up to the table and talked to Francis, and he had asked me if I'd ever played Ultimate Frisbee before and if I wanted to join. And I said, "Hell yeah, let me sign that sheet of paper with my email." So that's how that happened.
I joined the team because growing up I always threw a frisbee around. Like my state didn't have Ultimate Frisbee or anything, but I always threw a frisbee with my dad. So I wanted to join. I wanted to check out the Ultimate Frisbee team, and I showed up, and I liked a lot of the guys, and I knew some of the guys, so that's why.
Alongside the massive amount of interest from incoming freshmen and prospective players, other sources around campus began to become interested in Birdhouse, such as MUTV and the Marquette Wire.
I think that there's been a couple spots of stuff, but this is definitely the biggest year as it pertains to just overall exposure, like you mentioned. I don't ever remember getting interviewed or anything like that for any sort of Marquette Wire or anything like that. So I think this year is definitely a big year for Marquette and Birdhouse and Moxie House as a whole.
There is one club sport that is different from the others: Marquette Frisbee, made up of Birdhouse and Moxie. These are the men and women's teams that make up Marquette Club Ultimate Frisbee.
I didn't really know what Frisbee was, and when I joined, everyone was just so nice, and they were all about having a good time and including everyone.
These two teams embody a culture filled with inclusion, friendship, and a welcoming atmosphere for all Marquette students.
It's just such a fun sport. Everyone cares about it a lot, and kind of Frisbee culture as a whole is very much embracing your weirdness.
The Marquette Club Frisbee teams are no cut, and right now they are split up between house and feeder.
Well, we're always here to teach. You don't necessarily have to be a phenomenal player to show up. It's kind of just, show up, we'll teach you how to play, have fun. Having fun's kind of paramount. It's the main reason you play. Obviously you can get competitive, but if you want to just play, you can play.
They want students to play, and there is a place for everyone. Whether you want to go out and compete or just have fun, Frisbee has a spot for everyone.
Middle of our street, Birdhouse. It's a really good time. There's times when you come out here and you're very serious and you're trying to make a tournament, or regionals or nationals, and there's times where you come out and some of the points are goofy points, stuff like that. It's not your traditional culture, but it's a great time.
One takeaway from Club Frisbee is that they go by one motto.
I'm going to do it plain and simple. I'm just going to say house is home.
Alongside The Wire and MUTV, Birdhouse social media also began to kick off, really allowing the team to show their personalities and what they love to do to the friends, families, and fans of Birdhouse.
Birdhouse visits the Deer District.
Yeah. Wanna get a mansion, a jacuzzi, a theater to watch my movies, couple whips and lots of fancy things. The kids they call it
How would you describe the culture of Birdhouse? Expand upon the culture of Ultimate Frisbee.
Talk into the mic. Thank you.
The culture is definitely, like, it brings just random people together in the craziest way. Like, I feel like if I didn't have Ultimate Frisbee, I wouldn't be friends with half of these people. But, like, because of Frisbee, I got the chance to, like, get to know these people better. And, like I can honestly say, like, they're all my brothers. And, like, I could, like, still talk to them years and years after college.
Yeah, I think it's just like an accumulation of people, and it really is kind of like a family. The way that we give each other so much hell, and it's all love. I can't stand JJ. I don't even know this Mansour.
Yeah, that's my name.
I'm thinking about your Snapchat now. It's Sour Man.
Sour Man, yeah.
Like, I don't think that's his last name.
That's how it's pronounced.
Yeah.
Sour Man.
Yeah, it really is just like a big family. All love from boys.
Yeah, I definitely think Birdhouse culture is one of the more. I think the Birdhouse culture is a lot more unique than other Ultimate teams, and I'm very grateful to have the special community to be a part of. But I think Birdhouse is really special, and it holds a special place in my heart for sure.
So, what do you think of the Birdhouse culture?
I love it. They're a very active group of people. I haven't gotten a chance to meet them all, but they just seem like a big, happy family, which I love.
Family is right, and as anyone will tell you, every family has traditions.
The girlfriend, she's upset. She's going off the boss. Something that she said she doesn't get your humor. I'm in love with you. I'm in love with you.
Oh my god, what a Rick is literally like.
Following a warmer week in Myrtle Beach, it was time for the team to return to Milwaukee and get ready for the sanctioned spring season.
We're back to talking about offense. Can we talk about the indication who's going to find you up? You're getting into some things that I don't think about too often that I should think about. So, yeah, no, I think go ahead and talk that through with it. Goodness. Basically, these two push. No, I'm just kidding.
And Max, you can correct me if there's a different order you want to do, but the main two options that we have as this handler in the middle.
First on the agenda for feeder was Illinois Invite, and first on the docket for house was Huck Finn. Unfortunately, due to inclement weather, not much media was produced for either team.
So why isn't there any footage from Illinois Invite?
So basically we were playing in a tornado, so it was just like throwing the disc like just back and forth up the field. It wasn't even frisbee, it was just a miserable 30-mile-an-hour windy tornado.
With two interesting tournaments in the past, it was time to head to conferences.
First of all, I would say, at least in my experience, you don't gotta love the game of Ultimate Frisbee to love Birdhouse. The culture is amazing.
I would say my number one tip is to just, live in the real world. Frisbee's all about being in the moment, and the culture is a lot about that too, just kind of being in the present with the people around you.
One of the most important things I can say for incomers on the Birdhouse team is that it doesn't matter how good you are at Ultimate Frisbee. You'll find a place on the team, and you'll be able to have a good time and play at your skill level, and it doesn't matter how people are playing around you, but you'll find your spot on the team and you'll have fun either way.
At the end of every season, there's always this discussion of whether or not the team can survive and move forward without the graduating seniors, which is ridiculous because, every program goes through that and you always know you have more people coming up. But for the future of Birdhouse, I want to really lean into the development of our B team so that there's no longer that discussion of oh man, we're losing our seniors or our captains or just these really important people that we depend on. I want us to always be able to look forward to the next seasons and be able to know that there are people behind us that are putting in just as much effort and care just as much about the team as we do, and that you're always leaving the team in good hands.
Where do I see Birdhouse in the future? I see them winning. I see them going to nationals. I see them being the best. The program that we have here at Marquette, it offers people and inspires people to become their most competitive, most hardworking selves without sacrificing the fun that is so needed on a club like this.
I know for next year, all of us guys want to keep the traditions going of playing hard and having fun with our friends. So I know we want to get as many people as we can to keep the two teams like we did this year. That was a lot of fun for a lot of people. House being the more competitive, more intense team, while Feeders being a more fun, everyone's getting in, everyone's playing. So to have both those teams, we're going to need a lot of people and a lot of commitment.
The future of Birdhouse is super bright. There's a lot of opportunity. North Central is obviously a pretty good region with a lot of big teams. But I feel like there's a new culture growing. There's a new group of people, a new way that Birdhouse thinks, that nationals is a real possibility. Being a high-level team is not only attainable, but something that is probable, and it will take a lot of effort. But I think something that myself and Matt always tried to build was continuing to grow what's already been there, and starting a mindset of, any game is winnable. And I think that's what I took away from most with Birdhouse, is that I think it gets thrown around a lot that anything is possible. Yeah, we've been in this position before. We know how to handle it. We know how to handle adversity, and the future is super bright.